Hi, so nice talking to you. Thank you very much for taking my interview. It's a very exciting release to me, and yeah, you have an upcoming album called Legends. The first thing that I do want to ask you is that, well, back in 2014, you released Heroes and now Legends, and I do want to know, because to me it will be interesting to know your perspective about what differentiates a hero from a legend.
That's a good question. There are similarities in that sense that both albums deal with individuals mostly, but also smaller groups or units, smaller numbers. The big difference is you can be hero, do something heroic, and be totally unknown. You
Mhm.
you cannot be unknown and be a legend. And also, hero has a moral implication to it. That at least if we would call somebody a hero, they did something. We're not saying they were all saints and perfect human beings, but they did something heroic in their life. And that is a positive thing. Legendary, not necessary. You can be a total fucking asshole and still be a legend. Even though the way we use the word today is like, oh, it's legendary. Yeah, it can be used in a different way. But at least to us, legend has nothing to do with morals at all. It is more about are you or is this individual remembered 2 generations or more after they're dead? Are we still talking about them? Are they still in our history books? Are we making movies about them or video games or are there documentaries?
I love that answer because you're totally right. The morals is the basis of what becomes a heroic act or a heroic person. And yeah, the legend could be a horrible human being. I mean, one of the songs is about Genghis Khan, for example.
Yeah, probably not the nicest guy ever walked the earth.
Totally. And now I do want to know, how did you decided which stories you were going to write about for this album?
It's always going to be a mix of sort of the greatest hits in our minds, you know. Some of them make it, obviously, guys like Genghis Khan and Caesar.
Mhm.
But also, we had like Alexander the Great was somebody I had very close to heart, and one of the first I thought about when I thought about legends. And unfortunately, I had a piece of music written, and that little idea was great. And then I wrote I stuff around that idea, and it was shit, to be honest.
Okay.
So instead of
Self-critical.
destroying that legend, better put it aside. So there is no Alexander the Great on this album. Not for lack of trying. I fucking tried, but I couldn't. So one day I want to write a song about Alexander the Great to make it up to myself and to everyone. But yeah, there are always those. You have these ideas. On the previous albums, we had when we did Great War, we wanted to do Christmas Truce, but I didn't have the right music until later. So I'm hoping to return to Alexander, but some of them are sort of chosen by the music, where the music takes us as well.
Mm.
Me and Chris writing, and we had this really sinister old sounding evil riff, and it sounded almost a mix of European and Eastern. And then it's like, this is Vlad the Impaler. Yes.
Oh, that's good to know how all the lyrics are born based on the music. Good to know. And trust me, Joachim, if Maiden could wrote about Alexander the Great, you can do it too.
Yeah, we just want a good song. They did a good song, but the one we had was shit, and we don't want to do that to people.
And we already talked about some of the historical figures that you wrote about on this album, but I do want to know which one was the most interesting for you, the one that you just kept investigating and reading and researching more and more.
The one that took me on the biggest sort of side route, or the long way around, was probably Miyamoto Musashi from the Duelist song.
Mhm.
Because I knew of him as a samurai. We heard about him, but I didn't know much about him. But I knew it's a legendary samurai. However, once I started researching him, looking into his life and everything, I realized that samurai or warrior is only half of him.
Mm.
Philosopher is the other half. So that led me down to reading his book, The Book of Five Rings. And yeah, so that guy gave me a big, oh shit. I can't do the song at all as I planned, which was tricky because when I wrote the song, guitar riffs and everything, I was thinking, haha, samurai motherfucker. And then I'm sitting there writing the lyrics. It's like, samurai, yes, but not motherfucker. Samurai philosopher. Shit. How do I do this?
Who would ever thought about that?
I don't know. I mean, it's my lack of, I don't want to do too much research going into it because then it feels old. I want to save. I do a little bit research and or I base it on what I already know when writing the music. But when I'm digging in to write the lyrics, I want to sit there and write while I'm excited about it because when you're discovering something for the first time, that's when you're most excited about it. You don't want to read about, 15 books about something and then write lyrics a year later or half a year later. That's old. It doesn't feel fresh, exciting anymore. So sometimes it can bite you in the ass, as it did with that one. But it turned good out good anyway, so I'm happy.
Yeah, totally. And also for this album, you have a collaboration with Nothing More for the Crossing the Rubicon song. And I do
Yes.
want to know how did you guys met in the first place and some stories that you might even want to share beyond working for this song together.
It's actually a new thing for us to do collaborations like this. We haven't done it before much, but when we signed with Better Noisy Music, because we've been with Nuclear Blast for a long time, and we haven't got nothing against them. There aren't that many people that we know and love left at Nuclear Blast, unfortunately. So
Okay.
when we were making this album, our contract was up. We were negotiating with other labels at the same time. Well, Nuclear Blast was among them as well, and Better Noise was one of those. And it turns out then that obviously nothing more is on Better Noise. And I were, I've heard the band, I'm aware of them, but they they had a request, the label, like, hey, Sabaton, so somebody in in nothing more like Sabaton, it seems. And so we sent them the album because the album version sort of is Sabaton only. So the
Mhm.
album was created even before we had or finished even before we had anything. And then I I totally expected to be the grumpy old man, like, oh no, 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 I don't want to do that. That's not very good, you know. But when I heard the files of what they had done with it, it's like, fuck yeah, this is amazing. I mean, not only John is singing, which is fucking fantastic, but Mark's guitar playing as well. So at that point, it was just like, hell, it sounds good. If it sounds good, it is good. Why the hell not? So that was fun and something different we haven't done before.
I got something interesting because you said that you were the grumpy old guy that doesn't wanted to do it in the first place, but at the same time you have collaborated with many artists, Baby Metal, Apocalyptica. You have played with them, but why did Sabaton you didn't want it to?
Very different here uh, because it was not me being invited to their arena.
Mm.
That's very different. We had a Sabaton thing and we had already written it for Sabaton and the album was done, sort of. Are we going to add something else to the mix now after the fact?
Okay.
Instead of working out something together, which is fine, or if I am invited to join Baby Metal and they want me to sing in a special way, sure, I'll sing however the fuck you want me to sing. It's your song, you know. So
Excellent.
I remember Baby Metal, they just want one more, harder. It's like, okay. We were on tour in Japan. I could barely sing the next day. I think we had 2 shows left with Baby Metal on that tour. And they took me to the studio one day in Osaka, and I was standing there and I was screaming and screaming and screaming. And they just wanted more and harder. So, okay. Well, it was a lot of fun. I'll never forget that day.
I'm pretty sure you never will forget it.
No.
Well, Joachim, I have one last question related to the album before going to some other things that I do want to know, because the video clip for Templars is just amazing, man, and I do want to know where did you shot it because it does look like this huge production, like Hollywood value stuff, you know. So tell me more about it.
We went, this is filmed in Serbia, And Serbia was chosen for several reasons. One, we have a team there led by a guy, director called Ivan, who we worked with before several times. So we knew he could pull off the epic shit, you know?
Mm.
And what's also is we found out that there is a historical reconstruction group in Serbia called the White Eagle or White Eagles.
Mm.
And they do not specialize in Templars, but they have time correct armor, real armor, not Hollywood armor. So they are doing historical reconstructions from that time. And, you know, medieval armors, it's not like they were made by a company or a brand, you know, it's a
Yeah.
single, everyone had different stuff, you know, metal bashed together. Uh, so we had something that was correct for the time, access to that. We had access to castles, which, I mean, it's not in every country they let you film in these historical landmarks. And there we could go. So we were in two different castles for different scenes in
Wow.
Serbia. And to be able to have then the expert knowledge and training from the people of White Eagles, helping us with the combat training. They had the armor, so they could, you know, build an armor for every band member and then have them as extras because they know how to do this combat. So we were the guys who sucked. They had to work around us not being able to do this because all of these guys, they do battle reconstruction all the time. So they had a lot of experience to bring into the project. Obviously, even the director, great with those visuals. And then, yeah, five Swedish guys who had no fucking clue what they were doing. But we died anyway.
And you did it great. Congratulations, Joakim. It's
Yes.
a really
We're
great
good at
video.
dying.